Welcome, everyone. Today, let's dive into the world of Greek mythology and meet one of its most powerful kings, Agamemnon. His name in Greek means very steadfast or resolute, showing how determined he was as a leader. He was the king of Mycenae, son of Atreus and Arope, and brother to Menelaus, the husband of the famous Helen of Troy. Now, what made Agamemnon's life so dramatic? Well, his story mixes power, pride, family betrayal, and tragic fate, all the ingredients of a perfect Greek tragedy. He was married to Clytemnestra and had children, Iphigenia, Electra, Oresteia, and Chrysothemis. You'll find his story in several classic works, Homer's Iliad, Aeschylus' Agamemnon, and Euripides' Iphigenia at Aulis. So, as we go through, keep one question in mind: was Agamemnon a hero, or a victim of his own pride? Let's find out. Mythological background. Let's now look at the mythological background of Agamemnon. Agamemnon was the king of Mycenae and the leader of the Greek army in the Trojan War. Now, how did this war begin? It all started when Paris of Troy kidnapped Helen, the wife of Agamemnon's brother Menelaus. This made all the Greek kings unite under Agamemnon's command to bring Helen back. So, Agamemnon became the supreme commander, something like the main general leading all the Greek forces. But here comes the tragic twist. Before they could sail to Troy, Agamemnon angered the goddess Artemis by accidentally killing her sacred deer. As punishment, Artemis stopped the winds, so the ships couldn't move. To calm her anger, Agamemnon did something shocking: he sacrificed his daughter, Iphigenia. This act became the seed of tragedy. His wife Clytemnestra never forgave him, and that's where revenge began to grow. So remember, in Greek mythology, a single act of pride or disobedience to the gods can change one's entire fate. That's the story's moral foundation. Agamemnon in Homer's Iliad. In Homer's Iliad, Agamemnon is not just a warrior, he's also shown as a proud and sometimes stubborn leader. He often clashes with other heroes, especially Achilles, the greatest Greek warrior. Here's a famous example. Agamemnon took away Achilles' war prize, Briseis, which made Achilles furious and withdraw from battle. That single argument changed the entire course of the Trojan War. Agamemnon's character here shows the flaw of hubris, excessive pride. He believed that his authority made him right, but in Greek tragedy, pride often leads to downfall. We can compare him to a modern leader whose ego overshadows his wisdom, powerful, yes, but unable to control his emotions. That's the Agamemnon of Homer's Iliad, brave but blinded by pride. Agamemnon in Aeschylus' Agamemnon. Now, in Aeschylus' tragedy Agamemnon, the story takes a dark turn. After the Trojan War, Agamemnon returns home victorious, but his victory comes with a curse. At home, his wife Clytemnestra is waiting, filled with anger over Iphigenia's sacrifice. She has also taken a lover, Aeschylus, Agamemnon's cousin. Clytemnestra welcomes him with deceptive love and even lays a purple carpet, a symbol of royal pride and arrogance. When Agamemnon steps on it, it's as if he's stepping into his own doom. She then traps him in a net while he's bathing and kills him with an axe. Even the Trojan princess Cassandra, brought as a war prize, is murdered too. So, the moral lesson is clear: violence and pride bring more violence and destruction. It's not just the story of a man's death, it's the story of how hubris destroys families and dynasties. Themes in the play: hubris, pride. Agamemnon's pride and arrogance toward gods and people lead to his downfall. Family curse, House of Atreus. The family is cursed due to past crimes, beginning with Atreus feeding his brother's sons to him. Justice and revenge: Clytemnestra's murder avenges Iphigenia but also continues the cycle of vengeance. Fate and divine will: even kings cannot escape the punishment destined by the gods. Character traits of Agamemnon. Let's break down Agamemnon's character traits. Brave and authoritative. He was a powerful king who led all of Greece to war. Proud and egoistic. He often believed that his position made him infallible. Sacrificial yet cruel. He sacrificed his daughter for victory, showing his devotion to duty, but also his coldness as a father. Tragic hero. His downfall is caused not by fate alone but by his own choices. His hamartia, or tragic flaw, is pride. We can think of him as someone who values duty more than love, power more than peace. He's a mix of greatness and guilt. That's what makes him a true tragic hero in Greek drama. Themes and symbolism. The play Agamemnon is rich with symbolism and deep themes. Let's understand them one by one. Hubris, pride. Agamemnon's arrogance, like walking on the purple carpet, shows how pride leads to downfall. Fate and justice. The idea that no one escapes divine justice. His death is a punishment for Iphigenia's sacrifice. Revenge and retribution. Every act of murder brings another, like a never-ending chain of vengeance. Symbolism. Net, fate trapping him. Bath, false comfort leading to death. Purple carpet, arrogance and excess pride. Greek tragedies often use these symbols to show that even kings are helpless before destiny. Agamemnon in the Oresteia trilogy. Agamemnon's story doesn't end with his death. It continues in the next two plays of the Oresteia trilogy by Aeschylus. 1. Agamemnon. He is murdered by Clytemnestra. 2. The libation bearers. His son Orestes avenges his father's death by killing his mother. 3. The Eumenides. Orestes is tried in Athens, and finally, the cycle of revenge ends with the establishment of law and justice. This trilogy shows how human society evolves, from personal revenge to organized justice. Aeschylus teaches that real civilization begins only when humans replace vengeance with law. Agamemnon versus Achilles, UGC NET comparison. Here's an important comparison often asked in exams: Agamemnon versus Achilles. Agamemnon represents authority, leadership, and pride. Achilles represents individual glory, emotion, and personal honor. Their conflict in Iliad symbolizes the clash between power and pride. While Agamemnon fights for command, Achilles fights for respect. Both are heroes, but both fall due to ego. So if you remember one line for UGC NET, Agamemnon symbolizes power, Achilles symbolizes passion. Important quotes. Now, let's see some famous lines to remember, especially for UGC NET exams. 1. Greedy for gain, proud of power. Homer's Iliad. This perfectly sums up Agamemnon's nature. 2. Zeus, who leads men to wisdom, ordains that suffering shall teach. Aeschylus. This means that humans learn only through suffering, one of the core ideas of Greek tragedy. 3 feet justice turns the balance, the slayer is slain. Aeschylus. This shows how divine justice works, every wrong deed brings another punishment. Remember, Greek drama always teaches that wisdom comes only through pain. UGC NET exam pointers. Finally, here are your quick exam pointers, perfect for revision. Work. Agamemnon by Aeschylus, first play in the Oresteia. Genre. Greek tragedy. Major themes: pride, fate, justice, revenge. Famous line: justice will exact the penalty. Daughter sacrificed: Iphigenia. Wife and murderer: Clytemnestra. Lover: Aeschylus. Avenger son: Orestes. Symbolism: bath equals deception, net equals fate, purple carpet equals arrogance. Moral: power without humility leads to destruction. Always remember, Agamemnon's life is a mirror of how pride invites downfall, and how justice, though delayed, always arrives.